Tasman Cook is a group of professionals, each with an outstanding track record in property development. We closely partner ourselves with New Zealand's leading architectural, interior and construction companies. New Zealand is a land of stunning contrast, with snowy mountains in the south and white sandy beaches in the north. We're a country that has produced blockbuster movies, home of the world-famous All Black rugby team, and recognised for our sailing ability as past holders of the America's Cup. Few places in the world can match the superb lifestyle of Auckland. The Waldorf St Martin's offers a tradition of quality that fits perfectly with the standards Tasman Cook is setting.
This particular developer, Tasman Cook, first got involved in this job August-September 2007.
The design ethos and approach to it was really driven by the parameters of the site and the environment.
We started our work with Tasman Cook in the Waldorf St Martin's Lane with a brief to create more flexible spaces.
David Foster was the lead architect from Babbage, who introduced us in the first instance to the drawings, and at that time we felt that those drawings really did reflect everything that we wanted to achieve in this development.
It was a tricky site, tough site, sloping site. It was surrounded by a series of daylight angles that had to be met. The controls of the site kind of formed this tube that you could put on it, and we ended up with basically a seven-sided building.
We had a difficult time in the first few months of the process because of the nature of the groundworks, the contour of the site. The Buller George structure engineers had a difficult task which they admirably overcame.
Buildings with one side, of course, are much easier to deal with. Each side needs to be broken down, looked at, designed carefully, and then you transpose that to where the next one is and the next one is. So it's not a matter of just taking a floor plan and saying, well, this will work, because you've got to shuffle those elements on the floor plan so that when you're finished, you get a building which is representative as a whole. We started the building as a residential development. The idea of the whole development around it was that it was not going to be a chicken coop type development.
So approximately April 2008 we started coming out of the ground. Bearing in mind we've got 3 basement levels of car parking here, 44 car parks in the basement. Then we've got a level 1 reception area, 3 units and back of house areas, rubbish room and service areas. And then we have levels 2 to 18 inclusive of all apartments. So in total there are 155 apartments in the building. Typical floor includes 9 apartments. Of those 9 there are 2 one-bed apartments and 7 two-bed apartments, all of which have a fantastic outlook around the city. Kalmar Construction finished the development in May 2009, and by that time we had fully appreciated exactly what the requirements were of the Waldorf.
Our principal design work has been working in collaboration with other designers because we don't classify ourselves primarily as a design company. The first project we undertook with Tasman Cook was the Waldorf in St Martin's Lane. We entered that phase quite late in the piece. The projects that we've been introduced to with Tasman Cook, they requested that we do it in its entirety, maximising the use of the space available with really high quality furniture and fittings, provide maximum durability for the Waldorf themselves. To that end, we went for a fairly neutral colour scheme. The end product that the Waldorf and Tasman Cook have in St Martin's Lane is an environment that really does feel like you're at home.
Given the fact that we put a building with a central core in, and the fact that it had 7 sides meant we had a greater surface area to deal with. So for that meant a bit more freedom in getting good exposure, good outlook, good room sizes, and plenty of natural light in the building.
So I'm on the 19th floor now of the Waldorf St Martin's, which is the roof garden that we created for them. This is accessible for all of the guests here. We have the museum in the background, we're close to the harbour. Sky Tower and downtown Auckland is not 10 minutes walk away. It's a great location for a great looking building.
We've chosen the Waldorf to manage our apartment building due to the sustainability of rental income. They're a business which has been around since 1980. They were focused on service and quality. They're a business which provides security for investors. New Zealand is one of the few countries in the world that has friendly investment policies. For example, no capital gains tax, no stamp duty, no land tax, no sales tax, favourable foreign exchange, favourable bank lending to internationals, investor-friendly tax policies. We have a stable and growing economy working out of this current recession. Waldorf St Martin's is 4-star living at its best. The development of the Waldorf St Martin's has struck the perfect balance between functionality and lifestyle for its guests.